you're a professional?
Are you?
That's it, Clark. Show him who's boss.
Oh, we're all in this together.
Hey everybody, what's going on? Welcome back to the Clark Griswold YouTube channel. I am Mr. Clark Griswold. Thank you guys for being here on this Sunday night or this Monday morning, whenever you guys are watching this video. If you are new to the channel or new to the Strat, then welcome to you guys. We are about to change the way that you guys trade in the stock market. If you haven't done so, below, take a look at that subscribe button. You can click it and then click that bell. That bell gives you the notifications for when I send out videos just like this one every day. This is our weekly swing setup. I send these out every week, but I also send out daily setups, a top 5 daily setup every day. Okay, those are already out. Go check those out. I also have a plethora of learning tool videos and trade review videos. I've got over 200 videos for you guys to learn off of for the Strat. Okay, I've got a 4-part series on Paul Ituaro's coined hashtag 30 and 30. I've got a broadening formation video, Sarah Strat Sniper's 50% rule video, what these little numbers on the candlesticks mean, entries and exits, how to trade double inside bars, outside bars, 3-1 setups. Okay, the list goes on and on and on. So there's a ton of videos for you guys to check out and to help you guys learn the Strat. Okay. You can also follow me on Twitter at Mr. Clark Griswold. And guys, if you have silly questions, there are no silly questions, but if you have questions, doesn't matter if you think they're silly or dumb, ask them. Ask them on Twitter. Ask me. You can DM me. Ask them. I am here to help you guys, okay? So give me a follow on Twitter. You can do the same thing on any one of my YouTube videos, okay? In the comment section below, ask away. Ask the questions down below. I usually get back to you guys within the same day. Okay, I try to do that. I try and make it a habit to get back to each and every one of you guys who ask questions. I think it's really important. You guys are trying to learn, and I'm trying to teach you guys on what we're doing here. In saying that, these videos take a lot of time, and I really want to keep this stuff free for you guys. I want to keep these videos coming. I want to keep the information coming. I want it to be free. So what I ask in return of you guys for me putting out these videos is if you see a 15 or a 30-second ad, just please take the 30 seconds to watch it. The hours that I spend doing the videos really means a lot to me if you guys will watch those little 15-second ads. Let the advertisers pay me to teach you guys. I want to keep the money in your guys' pockets, and let the advertisers pay for it, okay? The other thing, since I have been monetized, I want to give something back to you guys, so we'll see what the first month looks like. I want to give something back out of that monetization money that I get from you guys, so or from the advertisers. So whether it's $50 or $100, I want to do a draw and give something back to you guys. Okay, so like I said, watch the ads and keep the stuff free for everybody. Okay, so let's get started on our weekly swing list for Monday, June 13th. I will tell you guys this: on a weekly swing, if you're playing options, I get 2 weeks out. It gives you a little bit of extra time. And I would still, like, if you're looking at AMC, for example, the trigger here is 14.22. Take 14.50 or $15 as your trigger, okay? Take as close as you can to the money, okay? And that way, if it turns on you, you're not in a bad position. And then same thing with the 2 weeks. It gives you just that little bit of a buffer in case it goes the wrong direction on you guys, okay? So we'll start this list with AMC. So AMC finished last week with a 2 down, but we finished green, okay? So that gives me probability that this thing is going to go up. Now, the month, the quarterly, and the yearly are red. I get that's against time frame continuity. If we trigger to the upside on this weekly, this trigger here is our monthly. So our monthly, if we go to it, this yellow tells me it's currently inside, okay? So if we go to the month, we have a current inside bar. So if we are triggering on the weekly, right there, this right here, where this dotted line is where the month would flip to green. Okay, so that would make our week and our month all green. Okay, the quarterly has a little bit more to go than that. But if we trigger on the weekly for AMC, our first target is our trigger for the monthly to break out of that inside bar. Okay? So we would be green on the week, we'd be green on the month, and we would be out of this inside bar on the month if we trigger and then hit targets on AMC. You guys see what I'm doing there? So on our targets, same thing as we do on our daily trades, our target is the top of the preceding wick if we're going to the upside. If we go to the downside, it's the bottom of the preceding wick. Okay, so trigger pink line, target is this line here, which is also our trigger for the monthly. If you have questions about that, make sure you guys are leaving them down below. Okay, Salesforce is up next. CRM had a 2-up that finished red. Okay, so this week, I don't know what it's going to be when we open up, but we are going to look for this to trend downwards. Our trigger is 177.20. Our first target is the bottom of the preceding wick. So we would like this month to go red. So if we go to the monthly, if we trigger on the weekly, our monthly will be red. We'll have full time frame continuity. So this little green wick, if I go make this wider, this bottom of this body of this candle, this green, as soon as we come past that, that puts our monthly to red, okay? So we would be week, month, quarterly, and yearly all to red on CRM, okay? Next up is Chewy, CHWY. Chewy had a 2-up that finished red as well. So we can look for puts at $27.22. Our trigger is obviously the bottom of the preceding wick. And again, we're looking for this monthly bar, which is inside. So that's what that yellow circle means on it. It's an inside bar. So again, if we trigger here, this right here, I'll put a line there, is where our monthly would go to red. Okay, so if we just switch back to the weekly, before we even hit first targets, our monthly would go back to red. Okay, hopefully that makes sense to you guys. We'll move on to CVX. That's Chevron. Chevron had, so here's an example. They don't always work out, but here's an example. So we had a 2-up red last week. And I wanted this to, or I would have expected this to go down, okay, but we didn't. We went 2-up, but we finished red again. So we're going to look for the same thing, 2-up red to the downside, with triggers at 173.66 for puts on this, okay? And first targets are not great coming off of here. That's the first target. Second target, again, bottom of the preceding wick. So quarterly and yearly are both green. We're not coming out of those into red. This quarterly is really, really green. So the monthly and the weekly, though, if we trigger down, are both red, okay? If we go to DDOG, DDOG, DataDog Inc., inside bar on DataDog for the weekly, full time frame, and I guess I haven't shown you guys this. If you go into your indicator tab, type in time frame continuity, author is board rider B. If you want these candlestick numbers, candle type, the Strat, author is Crinklebind. And I was gonna tell you guys, I had somebody made a comment on the daily video that I did for June 13th. Go check those comments. I can't remember what the indicator is, but he's telling me that this full time frame continuity indicator and these numbers are all on the same indicator, okay? So DDOG, we've got an inside bar. For anybody who follows along with me and is part of the Strat or part of the Griswold gang, you guys know what these inside bars are. For those of you that don't, inside bars show consolidation within a stock, okay? It's a tightening range, so we do not break the high or the low of the previous candle. This is a 1 bar or an inside bar. It stays within the range of the previous candle. And I always explain this as a spring, getting spring loaded in a tightening range. And when a spring gets tightened and squished and you let it go, it explodes to one side or the other. And we can go look back in history, and it almost always works out that we have these big gains to the downside or the upside off of these inside bars. So you can see there we had one here. This one wasn't so great, but over 2 weeks, again, as I told you guys, it works out. This was off a double inside bar. Okay, inside bar here. We had a nice break up, hit first targets. Inside bar here, nice break up. Okay, so probabilities of these inside bars working are really, really high, and that's what we like to play, are the probabilities and just doing what the candlesticks tell us to do, and that's why the strat is so easy. Okay, so we can take calls on this one, which is probably not as probable, and I would look, if we do trigger to the upside, that we don't have a large run up based on what we see here on the time frame continuity, but we can take calls at 111.82. Puts are more probable, and they are the better trade at $93.81. Okay, that's on DataDog. If we go to DraftKings, DKNG, so DraftKings had a 2 down, finish green. So we're going to look for calls on DraftKings at $14.66. Again, our monthly is on an inside bar currently. Okay, and that is our trigger for the monthly. So if we hit the triggers on the weekly, looks like our first, second, third target is the trigger for the monthly. Okay, so that's to the upside on DraftKings, and that's where the month would turn to, where are we changing? The month would turn to green even before we trigger, okay? So I'm just going to put this down for you guys so you get to actually see what it would look like. If we go to the weekly, this yellow line is where our green goes to, or where our monthly goes to green, okay? And if we were to look at the quarterly has a long, long ways to go before we flip to green, way up here at 1950. Okay? I'll get rid of this yellow line. And let's move on to GME, GameStop, sorry. Let me go back here. There we go. GME had a 3-1 setup, okay? And off of this inside bar, you can see last week we had a really nice run up, hit first targets. This would have been a good gain. But now, because we are 2 up that finished red, call it a 2 up that finished red. Let me get that time frame continuity up. There we go. We are looking for what's called a rev strat. So a 1, 2 up, 2 down reversal. First target at the bottom of this inside bar candle. So $123.35 would be our trigger. You notice this month is green. So let's go to the monthly and see where our monthly would flip to red. Okay, and that's very simple to do. Right there. So again, if we trigger to the downside, whoops, that's the daily. If we trigger to the downside off of this weekly 2 up that finished red, then we very likely, well, we do. If we trigger to the downside, our monthly will flip to red. We will have full time frame continuity to the downside, okay? And again, if you guys have questions on any of this stuff, make sure you guys are asking down below or on Twitter, okay? Lululemon is up next. Lululemon has higher premiums normally, so for smaller accounts, it's tougher to trade. We do have the week, month, quarterly, yearly are all red. We have a 2 up that finished red, okay? So we can look for puts on this one at $290.07. And guys, if you're watching this and you don't know what I'm talking about when I'm saying 2 up, 2 down, 2 up red, go check the video that I've got on these candlestick numbers. It explains it perfectly for you guys, okay? Lululemon. Next up is Macy's. Macy's has a 2 up red shooter candle or a inversed hammer, okay? Which means we just have this. It basically looks like a putter or an upside down hammer, okay? Full time frame continuity to the downside, week, month, quarterly, yearly. Trigger for puts at $22.99. Where is that monthly getting out of the inside bar? Okay, it's got a long ways to go. way down here, okay, on Macy's to get outside of this inside bar to the downside. So we go back to the weekly, and that is your setup for, let me get rid of these. That's your setup for Macy's, okay? NKE, that's Nike. Nike has a 2-up that finished red. Again, full time frame to the downside, puts at 114.26. First order of magnitude is not great at 114.17. So watch for this, because we may break through and then it may reverse up. So I don't really like to see these plays when there's not a lot of magnitude there, but if it breaks through, then we're good, okay? PINS, that's pins. Pins had a inside bar last week. We had a 2-up that finished red, shooter candle. Full time frame continuity. Let's look for a 1, 2-up, 2-down reversal on Pinterest. We can take puts at $19.12. We have good magnitude on this one with first targets at 18.56, okay? Next up is Uber. Uber, same thing. 2-up, red, shooter candle. Good magnitude to the downside here. This is our first trigger at 22.57. This month is green. It's also an inside bar. Let's see where we would have the flip. So the flip, guys, if we trigger on the weekly, right there, then there's our trigger for the weekly. Our month is going to flip to red. Okay, and where do we switch out of? I'm going to put one more marker here to find out where we get out of that inside bar on the monthly. And that would be at your second target. So if we hit second targets, we are out of this inside bar on the monthly, okay? Hopefully this is making sense to you guys. Again, I know I always ask. If you guys have questions, I have answers. So just ask, okay? Last one of the day for next week is XOP. XOP had a 2-up, finished red, puts at 159.63. We are, I believe, at exhaustion risk on this one. We are at all-time highs. Okay, so could we look for a little bit of a reversal here based on that? We sure can. I'm going to look for a 2-down on this one with triggers at 159.63. First targets here. Okay, and Sarah Strat Sniper will always tell you guys the only time realistically you should go against time frame continuity is when you are at exhaustion risk or all-time highs, okay? So let's be very cautious of that. If we trigger here at 159.63, we can take that and look for first targets at 153.18. Guys, that's a video. Hope you liked it. Make sure you're watching the ads. Follow me on Twitter. I hope you guys have a great trading week next week. Let's go green on Monday. Let's go green next week. And we will see you guys on the next one. Bye-bye.